Yeah. What's up? Welcome. As always, I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. And I'm excited about this one today. I'm going to make this intro short and sweet so that we can get right down to it. This week, my guest is an old buddy of mine. He used to be my captain on the freshman football team all the way back in high school. We randomly reconnected later on in life after graduation while I worked at a bar and he was just coming in for a drink. And I found out a bunch of things about him. He went on from playing high school football to playing college football. And then after college, his athletic life shifted into the world of mixed martial arts, where he became an amateur MMA champion at bantamweight, and then went on to become a professional MMA fighter. He is one fight into his MMA career, I should say. He has one pro fight as a Muay Thai fighter and one pro fight as an MMA fighter. We get into all that. More so, this conversation went on for a while, so what I decided to do with this one, break it up in half. This is going to be part one of my two-part conversation with Rocco Giambrone. This portion of the conversation, we kind of reminisce about our lives back in high school, being dumb kids as opposed to the dumb adults that we are right now. It's always fun when you can reconnect with someone that you knew back in those early dumb stages of your life so that you can trade these idiotic war stories, if you will. Me and him have a really good time discussing it over, as he said, we were going to get silly with some beers, and he brought over this tequila El Tesoro, which is one of my favorites. So, of course, we enjoyed ourselves. In part one, we kind of keep our wits about ourselves a little bit. It'll be in part two where you tend to see things kind of fall off the rails in a very entertaining way. Either way, let's not delay this any longer. Here, guys, is part one of my conversation with my old football captain, my old MMA trainer for a little bit there, and an old friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocco Giambrone. Yeah, absolutely. We're starting with Peronis.
Beautiful. It's a treat, man. I don't drink much anymore, so getting around to having a couple of pops is a good time.
When you hit me up, and I believe the way that you put it is, so what's up? Are we getting silly?
Yeah, it's pretty much. Thank you, dude. Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. Thanks for coming. That sound is pretty much how I start off every episode. A gurgle, and a...
Nice.
Yeah.
This is good.
I like Peronis. They're nice, easy, solid.
I only get them when I go out to like Italian restaurants. Well, first of all, I don't really drink that much like that. But when I go out to eat, if I'm going to have a beer, I always have to have Peroni first.
Is that an Italian thing?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm Italian, of course, but I don't know. I know wine. You know what I mean? Like red wine. That's like what my family does. But like as far as beer, they'd always buy like Budweiser and shit like that. You know, it was always Budweiser at the house. I
was just talking to, I think yesterday with my buddy Martin. However, that episode won't come out until next week. Mm-hmm. I was talking to him how I love a guy or a girl that is just open and honest about being into. I love that the logo is showing. Brought to you by Peroni.
Business, baby. We're in the business.
It's funny because I had the Tesoro.
That's why I did it.
All right, let's just have all three. Yeah, in fact, we're gonna get a letter like, excuse me, can you please cease and desist?
Just put the blur up. Dude. Get people interested. What do they drink?
You're gonna be the first guest that makes me have a censor on my podcast. Like, why is it pixelated? Like, you guys have dildos on top of the table.
Could do that.
I wonder. consciously moved like my shit around, and I was like, I don't even know if I should have the label open. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's just
open half and half.
Half and half, like it's casual now.
It's casual. Now it's casual.
Yeah, now because this is too. We're trying too hard. All right, ready. Like a sitcom too that doesn't have the rights to show beer. That's always like just 100%. Label out or whatever.
You know what bothers me about that? If you ever watch, I hate when they take fake drinks. Like they'll have a fake coffee.
Oh my God.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Dude,
I'm like, oh,
dude,
that's nonsense.
So I have said that exact thing to my girl while watching TV shows. And I was like, oh my God, here comes one of my biggest pet peeves in TV and film.
Right.
And she's like, what? What is it? And I'm like, every time that someone is like bringing coffee for someone else in a show, they are just moving that shit.
right.
Like it's floating in air.
Yeah.
And then immediately the person's like, oh, great. That's exactly what I needed. And then glug, glug, glug.
Yeah.
No one ever takes a sip, their first sip of coffee, like a shot. And everyone's just like, oh. Yeah. And then they move the cup around and if you have a full cup of coffee, you're gingerly moving that shit around. You're like,
yeah. First you gotta even see if it's even sippable.
Yes.
Because if you take that first sip and you burn your tongue in your mouth,
thank you.
You're done for like 3 days. Dude.
Yes.
Shit tastes weird for like 3 days.
It's already the smartest conversation that's ever happened on this podcast. Because I could not agree more with that, dude.
I even go so far as I'm like, he didn't even swallow. I'm like, dude, he put it to his lips. And he's talking way too quick.
Right.
There's no swallow. There's no pause.
Yes.
That's bad acting.
It's always like it's always on like Law and Order or ENR, or I'm dating myself. Grey's Anatomy, I guess. Where
we're the same date. We're the same date.
That's true. Yeah. 87. You're born
88. Oh, so I'm a year younger.
So you're a liar too.
Yeah. It was easier for me to chalk my ID.
I
turned 8 into a 3.
Okay.
So I was like 22 at 17.
You chalked it. That worked.
In Oneonta, where I went to college, it worked.
Okay. Well, you had to. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't have the balls to go to Main Street and get a real fake.
Okay. Can I tell you? Literally, me, Dave Richardson, and Anthony Calderon, the three of us went to Main Street to get fake IDs.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't have the balls to do it, dude.
But all right, it was so bad. Because we go to this spot, and this Asian dude like knows exactly what he's doing, right? Yeah. But he just doesn't question anything we say. We write down exactly what age to put us down as or what our date of birth is. Now, here's the thing. The three of us go get it the exact same day, same time together. Yeah. Somehow, my ID comes out different than theirs. We were like, let's all get fake IDs from like the same place so we could be like, we're visiting from somewhere. So it was like, all right, well, I think we decided on Pennsylvania.
Fair.
So we got the same looking ID, all from Pennsylvania. We go back, we take the pictures, they print it out, all that shit. We pay for it. We walk out the spot, all looking at our IDs. Calderon and Dave, they're like, all right, cool, Pennsylvania. They're trying to, memorize whatever address they gave. And they're like, let me see yours. And I'm like, yeah, here's mine. And they're like, oh, nice. Wait, hold up. Ours says from the state of Pennsylvania. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, look at yours. And it says from the state of Philadelphia.
Yes. Perfect.
Not even a state. And they're going to be like Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, whatever. And then the other thing is the son of a bitch spelled my last name wrong. Hernandez is how it's supposed to be written. He put an extra syllable down, so it said William Hernandez from the state of Philadelphia.
Why? Did you ask him why? Did you go back?
So we walked out, and to this day, that's something that I love. That in the past 2 days, there's a couple of things I do in my episodes that have become like little trademarks of mine. Right. And I always do the Deontay Wilder to this day if I say that. So I realized I forgot for my first guest, Gia, I did it and she just was like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. So I didn't know Will had Tourette's. He hides it well at work. Like.
to this day. And you look the other way too.
Yeah. Because I don't want to yell it right into the mic. There's levels and shit. So to this day, I'm not gonna say it again. I am pretty pussy about a lot of shit. I'm very like non-confrontational.
Okay.
So when I walked out of that spot and saw that I had absolutely gotten fucked, there was no part of me that was like, well, I'm gonna go back and get my money's worth.
Really?
Nah, no.
Really?
I'm not like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like that wouldn't even be a confrontational type thing. That would just be like a look at these two and look at this one. Can you just
probably right?
I feel like like it would be as simple as just giving me a reprint. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that's always been like the back and forth whenever I've been with whether it's a friend or in a relationship with someone that has that line of thinking. That like the what could it hurt to ask or to try to kind of thinking. And my mind goes through every single scenario it could hurt or whatever. And I always psych myself up like, nah, I don't want to bother. Like, I fucked it up. It's ruined.
What did you write? Did you write Philadelphia?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. So now we're getting to the real story.
Yeah, I guess so. It might have been my fault, like I don't know.
Philadelphia. And they fucking dude, your word for word, letter for letter. You misspelled your last name and you put fucking Philadelphia.
I didn't.
You were so nervous.
My hand was trembling that I put an extra. Truthfully, it was all my fault. Right. I didn't want to relive that.
That's fair.
At all.
That's fair, dude. Mm-hmm. So, the only time I'm non-confrontational when it comes to something that's wrong is with food. I don't send food back no matter how it's cooked, no matter what they give me.
Got it.
Because of that movie Waiting, right? You've seen the movie Waiting.
Of course,
right?
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Staple movie, right?
Yeah.
Funny ass movie.
Also, really good cast when you look back at it.
Yeah.
Like they all went on to do pretty well. Except Andy Milonakis kind of fell off the face of the earth.
He did. he was strange to begin with. He wasn't gonna be like a guy that lasted.
No.
He was a flash in the pan guy. You could tell when the flash in the pans come out. You know what I mean?
And he did pretty good for like that 2 years. He was
3 years.
Yeah.
2-3 years. He had some funny ass rhymes though. Some of his shit was actually pretty good, pretty funny.
I remember he had that thing where he was actually like really old, but looked like he was 16, right?
Yeah, that's strange.
That's
always strange.
That was weird. That was true too.
Like, yeah. And he had the voice and everything to go along with it.
So that scared you from ever sending back food?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, I mean, even before that, I kind of knew, like, it was just kind of like a known thing, like, like, don't be a ball breaker in a restaurant, right?
Right.
And it's like, I guess when it comes to food, I'm not that picky, so it's like, all right, well, this isn't quite right, but these ain't waffle fries, they're regular fries or something stupid like that. I'm always like, all right, the fucking the waitress or the waiter's busy as fuck. What I mean? Like, it ain't that big a deal. I'm gonna eat it. No matter what they put on the plate, I'm gonna eat it. If it's a little, actually I sent something back one time. And I was nervous as fuck. I was in Colombia. And again, this was my fault, bro. This is my fault. We went to a steakhouse in Colombia, and I asked for this certain cut of steak, medium rare.
Yeah.
Now, this was like a thick cut. So medium rare turns into like fucking off, basically raw. Right?
Okay.
Just because of the type of cut it was, and I didn't realize it. So like your Philadelphia ID, I made the mistake. I'm kidding, but I sent it back because I just couldn't eat it. It was just like
too.
It was too thick.
Yeah.
To like chew raw meat, You
tried though.
I tried. Dude, I tried, and it was my last night in Colombia, and I was like, if I eat this, I'm gonna get sick.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to ruin my last night. So that's the only time in my life I sent something back.
Where'd you go in Colombia?
In Medellin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good time. I was there for a week with my boy Johnny Longbone.
Is that his name?
And his name is John. I call him Johnny Longbone. So you can just imagine the type of trip we had. It was me and Johnny Longbone running around the
with
streets.
a nickname like that. I could imagine.
It was fun. The scenery was beautiful.
I'm half Colombian. I've never been to Colombia still.
Nice.
So.
That was the only place I've really I've never been to Europe. I've never been to Italy or nothing like that. I've been to a couple of states and then Colombia.
So you're an Italian that's never been to the homeland.
Oh yeah, to See, I don't consider it the homeland though. You know what I mean?
What's your
New Yorker?
Queens is your homeland.
Yeah. And like, as I mean, it's a great culture and heritage, but that still is all morphed from when they came over, like when my grandfather came over. So it's not straight up Italy, straight up
your
Italian.
Parents, you're like second generation American?
Yeah, my grandfather came from Italy. My mother was born here, and I was born.
Can you speak
here.
it?
I could conjugate verbs.
Verbs.
I was good in school.
Saddest way of saying not terrible.
No, I say no. I can't.
So not even like conversational, maybe. Or?
Not. Someone asked me how to say sauce the other day, and I had to look it up.
Really?
Okay. It's embarrassing.
So there's no Italian being spoken in your family? When like
my grandfather spoke Italian like fluently. You know, had an accent in American, but he never taught it to my. Yeah, I never taught it to my mother and my, so I learned Italian in school. That's why I say conjugate verbs. So like on paper, I could, make sense of it.
Yeah.
And I could read it and understand a little bit what's going on.
Do you have Mr. Licata?
Yeah, bro, yes. Yeah. Oh, dude, he was the best. So
I always heard, and I was always mad that I didn't take, I was mad I didn't take Spanish or Italian. I took French and it was such a horrible mistake.
I could imagine. That's a little bit different. That's way different.
My dumbass was like, I already know English and I know Spanish. I should learn a third language.
That's actually valiant.
Right. But then no one told me like whatever language you take in high school, you will never remember for the rest of your life.
It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late by high school. Yeah.
I should have taken Spanish native or Italian just because Mr. Licata was such a
the man.
Yeah.
It was such a fun class. Yeah. And like so him being the director of the football program, I made it all the way to the Italian National Honor Society.
What does that mean?
I guess it's like
you're really
high
good
grades in Italian
student? Okay.
And I can't speak a lick of it.
Oh,
so
just Italian. Like you only have to be good in the one subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to be Italian too?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. I gotta catch up. My bad, bro.
It's all good.
Yeah.
No rush. We're gonna break into this tequila soon too.
Nice. But yeah, I can't speak it.
Wait, what is that again? Italian?
It's like the National Honor Society, but just for
one subject. Were you in the gym National Honor Society too?
No, like, can you imagine?
The pickleball dodgeball.
Scholarly, yeah.
What was it? Pickleball, paddleball?
Dude, I never heard of pickleball until like a year ago.
No, that's true. We didn't have pickleball. Remember when in college, in high school? Well, we went to the same high school.
Right.
Do you remember when you used to be able, or when you finally got to choose what kind of gym classes you would take?
Yeah,
the electives.
I think that was I think that started.
I think it's junior year. I think.
Yeah, I took lacrosse.
I did too. That was I think lacrosse softball maybe.
Lacrosse softball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I did lacrosse softball, and then the other one was fucking some stupid. It was soccer and.
What soccer? I don't think I took soccer.
I took soccer with the hockey coach. I forgot what his name was.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of vaguely, yeah.
Yes, and then it was soccer, and I want to say that European fucking throw ball shit.
I have no
like
idea.
when you're throwing the ball, like you take 3 steps. You take 3 steps, and you got to throw it to someone else.
Uh-huh.
And then like you throw it into the goal. I think it's called handball.
No,
I'm fucking making that up. It's definitely not. Okay, it's definitely not handball.
You're like, and I think they call it volleyball. Like, no, absolutely not.
No, it's not. It's not called handball.
Because there is handball. Like they had. I don't know if they had handball as a gym.
They had it as an extracurricular.
Yeah.
And what's his face ran it?
Mr. Grimm.
Yeah.
Who was nasty at it.
Yeah.
And they played small ball. I don't know if you know the difference. Like the blue handballs that people play with at the every park in Queens. That ball that you can buy like at the corner store, that's not the official size or density of a handball.
Oh, okay. It's small. The
it's
real one's
smaller and
so
denser.
More scale
and so like you have to your technique in hitting it matters a lot more.
I can imagine.
And when you're good at small ball, like it's all about like angles way more because it's gonna bounce a lot less. And Grimm apparently not only could he cover the court like a motherfucker, he was just a master at like.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
The only reason I knew that is because I knew a kid that was on the team. I'm still friends with him to this day.
Who's it, Billy? Billy?
No, this Filipino kid named Bryant that I don't think you really talked to. But he went on to play like.
Maybe I did.
Nah,
maybe
I didn't. I know who you ran with. You're too cool for that guy.
No, I wasn't, dude.
So, do you remember Brian Lucero at all? No, because you didn't talk.
Faces, dude. I know faces. You bust out the yearbook, and I'm going to say yes.
Oh, yeah. I threw him in a locker one time.
No way.
No, that's true. I was actually telling my girl, I was like, Rocco was one of the nice guys on the football team. Like,
I didn't, dude. I was like the fucking, you know what movie really influenced me? Varsity Blues.
Okay.
And you know the character Tweeter?
Which one was that?
He was the dude who was just trying to chase all the chicks around.
Oh,
I didn't really do that, right? I didn't do that in high school, but that was like what I was trying to do.
What's his name? He was in like Hawaii 5-0, I think.
He was
Scott
in
Conn, no?
Gone in 60 Seconds. He was in one of the
guy that used to wear the guy that on the team, the wide receiver.
Yeah, the wide receiver.
That's Scott Conn.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Who's James Caan's son.
Oh,
Sonny
know that.
from Sonny from the Godfather. That's his fucking son.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh shit.
He has some crazy stories of talking about his dad and some like what he let him get away with as a kid.
What we got going on here?
Cheers. Thank you for bringing this.
Of course, thank you. Here we go. Oh boy.
First shot of tequila. He brought. You're a real mensch. I heard that means a really good guy or stand-up person. El Tesoro. I was telling you before, legitimately one of my two favorite tequilas. It's that one and Fortaleza.
Okay.
And the only reason that they're my favorites for the same reason. So I like them both for equal reasons. It's one of the few tequilas out there that don't have zero additives.
Nice.
In the like distillation process. So all of the flavor you get is natural. It's from the process. It's not like it's not one of these tequilas that will add a sweetening agent to like make it taste better or go down easier,
right.
You know? Like Casamigos.
Yeah.
It was started by George Clooney and his friend.
Okay.
And they sold it for I think $500 million or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, George Clooney made more money selling Casamigos than he did his entire film career combined.
That's
like
incredible.
Every film, yeah.
That's incredible.
But when Casamigos was bought, they changed the like recipe a little bit to tweak it for mass production to make it more, I guess, easy for the palate, for like because they wanted Casamigos to be like what it is now. Like you see it at every bar, and it's like it's become like a go-to for people that order like shots or whatever at a bar. It used to be like Patron, and now it's a little bit more Casamigos than that. And to do that, they wanted to sweeten it up, and they added like vanilla flavoring after the fact or whatever. And when you would take like, so this is the Blanco. When you would take like a Reposado or an Añejo of these, which just means that it's aged a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And compare it to these, like a Reposado or Añejo in Casamigos, El Tesoro, if I'm not mistaken, was aged for 3 years, whereas Casamigos would be aged for 2 years. But the Casamigos tequilas were darker than El Tesoro because all the coloring from El Tesoro was natural, whereas the coloring in Casamigos was fake.
Was added.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So it's just another way that, like, it's like this tequila, which is aged longer, has less color because it's all natural. There's no fake colors. There's no fake flavors in this. It's just what you get from the agave and like the oak and all that shit.
I wish I knew all that shit before I bought it, right? Because like I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, I brought this for you because it's I'm fucking I know. So I went with my brother, and my brother's a bartender. He's like a mixologist type. He works at the Penny Hotel in Brooklyn, so he's like really doing his thing. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned Casamigos. So I was like, yo, should I just get like a bottle of Casamigos? And he looked at me and was like, are you a fucking bum? I was like, nah, dude, I want to buy something nice, you know? Yeah. So he's like, dude, get this one. This shit is pure. We just had a testing thing on this. I know all about it. Get it. So I got it, and I was like, the guy I'm bringing it to is definitely going to know what he's talking about. So he's like, yeah, then definitely bring something.
Nice. Shout out to your bro, older or younger?
Younger brother. Okay. Yeah, Giovanni, my main man, Gio.
Giovanni and Rocco Giambrone couldn't be more
couple Irish fellas. Couple Irish fellas from Glendale.
So I don't know what we were talking about, right? Oh yeah. So my girl was asking me like if we were cool in high school, and I was like, not really. We were on the same football team for 1 year. Yeah. And I told her, I was like, he was the one captain that was actually like not a dick to the rest of the team.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
because
which also says a lot about,
it's compliment
for you, yeah, but it also says how much of like a fractured team we were that freshman year.
So you're saying you're like, all right, well, you were the best of what we had.
A bunch of assholes.
I'm still gonna take it, bro. I'm still gonna take the compliment.
So. I don't know if I ever told you this, but the only reason...
Should I just go for it?
Yeah. Grab one, and then here's your bottle opener.
Sir.
I never... You played football before freshman year, right?
I did. I played Pop Warner for 2 years.
Okay. I didn't even know what Pop Warner was till I was on the freshman football team in prep.
Okay.
Like I had never like people were like, oh yeah, I did Pop Warner, and I pretended to know what that meant. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Pop Warner? Like I don't know who.
Yeah.
What that was, you know. The only reason why that's fine. The only reason why I was on the team is because I'm not lying. Maybe 2 or 3 days earlier. Because remember, tryouts, quote unquote tryouts.
We're started in August.
Right.
Yeah,
Before the school started.
Yeah.
That, like, week prior.
I just fucked my hand up. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm an idiot.
You cut yourself out trying to open that up.
And I tried to act cool like it.
Yeah, you didn't sell it.
I didn't, dude. That fucking, my hand is on fire right now.
How did you? All right,
because
I'll open all the beers.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
Dude, that's my call out for help. Thank you.
You're about to buy Casamigos and you cut your hand open one beer.
I'm a mess, Will.
Jesus.
I'm a mess.
Imagine you had a fight coming up and they're like, why do you have to pull out? Because no one ever taught him how to open a beer.
I could do it better with a lighter than that. I'll tell you that, yeah.
All right, don't worry. You don't have to do that again. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What a way to make me do all the work for the rest of the show. You just slice your arm over.
Come on, dude.
Can you help me? It looks
I didn't
annoying
sign a
as
waiver
hell.
or nothing when I came in here, dude.
It looks annoying as hell. I can't. Oh, that little cut you have.
Because it's on the corner where I'm holding it. But fuck it, bro. It's all good. We're here.
All right.
So I'm sorry. So Captain, 2 weeks before school starts. Yeah.
You don't need a tourniquet or anything. Like you're
no, dude. It's not. Oh no, it's good. It's good.
This is why
I thought, but it's good.
This is why my girl said, "Don't let anyone sit in my pink chair." She's like, everyone has to sit in like your chair. So like, I had to.
This is yours.
Yes, you're in your chair. I'm in her chair. Because imagine I told her, I was like, so my high school football captain got blood on your fucking.
Oh,
your show.
look at that! Yeah,
she knew something was gonna happen on.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
So a couple of days before, quote unquote tryouts.
Yeah.
Because tryouts was essentially if you showed up, you made the team.
Pretty much.
I didn't see anyone in tryouts.
At the freshman level, yeah. At the freshman level, for sure.
And I saw, remember back then it was like pay-per-view channels? You had like 3 pay-per-view channels that would show like movies.
On the box you're talking?
Well, I had the illegal box.
I had the box.
Nice, right.
Yeah, so from 58 to 63.
Perfect, yes.
Yeah.
And then like the other 2 would be like the porn channel.
62, 65. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
So because I had this illegal box, I would see like boxing pay-per-views all the time, wrestling pay-per-views, and whatever like the movies that were out for that month or whatever.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
And that week or like that month or whatever,
they had
Remember the Titans. That's exactly right.
Come on.
And I had never seen it before, and I watched it, and you know, I cried. You know,
it's a good fucking movie.
It's an amazing.
It's a
movie.
good movie. Even now, dude, it's a good movie.
I showed my girl one day. My girl, I put on. I was like, let me put on one sports movie for you, and she was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
And it was. So I either put on. She never saw my favorite movie of all time, and I think that's the way she allowed me to do a sports day.
What is it?
Cool Runnings.
Yo! Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
I got a story. I got a story.
A Cool Running story. Yeah, Go ahead. All right. Tell me your Cool Running story.
No, it was just about the Jamaican computer teacher I had in elementary school.
Okay.
That came out. Yeah. His name was Mr. Michaels, and I just remember the home row of the computer. From Mr. Michaels, and me and my buddies called him the 5th member of the Jamaican bobsled team. I don't know if that's racist or not. I'm sorry if it is. But like, it just reminded me about, you said Jamaican bobsled team. You said Cool Runnings and Mr. Michaels. And anyway, 2 weeks.
Back then, if I met a Jamaican person, I was bringing up Cool Runnings.
Yeah, like what else do you bring up?
Yeah. I got nothing else.
Now I got a couple more. Now I got some more culture under my belt. So I can bring up food. I can bring up music.
Jerk chicken and the Cool Runnings. Now is basically all I can.
So now I have 2 things to talk about.
I have 2 whole things that I can bring up.
And 1 song. So I have 3 things. I'm building an arsenal. But back then, dude, it was just Cool Runnings. So I saw that in the movie theaters.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw Cool Runnings in the movie theaters.
Nice.
For one of my buddy's birthday. Remember it as a kid when you would just like go to the movies for your friend's birthday?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right? Like the kid's birthday, the kid whose birthday it was their parent would take like their kid and like 5 of their friends to the movie theaters. Cool Running was one of those fucking things we saw.
Nice. That must have been really. What did it come out like 93 or something like that?
We were hyped. It was it was later than that. It was later than 93. It might have been dude. I'm thinking I was older. I think I was like 7, maybe 95.
Yeah, that old.
Maybe.
We could check.
Can we check that?
Yeah. Because
I think it was 95 or later.
I always say that my favorite movies growing up, and to this day, is it'll come up, man. It's that one. It was 93. See, I was right, bro.
Wow,
First
I was
guess.
5.
First guess.
No, then my memory's fucked up because I obviously did not go to the movie theater at 5 years old with a bunch of friends.
Might have. You were always cooler than me in high school, so I could imagine that you started off at like a very young age being cooler than me.
No, I would, dude. That's the biggest misconception ever. I was not cool in high. I was straight edge dork in high school. I played football, but I was like a fucking straight and narrow student.
Maybe that's why you're the one captain that wasn't a douche. The other captains were like, look at this loser captain.
Yeah, I was banished from the. I was the captain that set alone. But I didn't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, I was a straight edge like nerd my whole life and just played sport. I like to compete. Yeah, well, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it's a fucked up memory. Maybe I'm combining 2 old memories. You know, that happens sometimes.
Probably. We'll get to it, but you've been hitting the head.
So. That's my living. I get hit in the head for a living, bro.
Now, yeah.
Some things are fuzzy. I still can't do long division, okay?
But you probably couldn't before either, so it's fine.
That's fair.
Listen, you weren't in the National Honor Society in algebra.
I was in the Italian.
Yeah. So we never got that confused.
So let's get to it. So you're watching, remember, the Titans a couple days before training.
And by the way, what I was saying before, why I even mentioned Cool Runnings is my favorite movies. Like we put on Cool Runnings, and she cried at the end, as I always cry at the end of Cool Runnings.
Because it's about honor. It's about, you know what?
We have to
I don't
finish
care
the
if we fucking win, dude. We're going to do this the right way. There's pride in that, man.
So she at the end of Cool Runnings, she was like crying. She's like, okay, you know what? Fair enough, you got me. And I was like, all right, now that I've got this little bit of trust from you, can I put on another sports movie that I think that you'll like? And I went right to Remember the Titans.
Oh, dude, great move.
And she cried even more.
Good move.
She cried even more. And she was just like, why the fuck you put this on? You know, like Berthier's in the fucking hospital bed, like, can't you see? That's my brother.
That's my. Oh God! Stop it! Stop! You have me cry on the internet. The internet lasts forever, and I'm about to fucking cry. Gary Berthier.
Left side, strong side. And so she was like, "Oh my God, is that Opie? Is Opie in this?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, because she had seen that before this. So I had seen that movie the first time on illegal pay-per-view, and it pumped me up for the sport of football. That I was like, I'm going to that tryout in 2-3 days.
Love that.
Love that. And I went, and it was the first. Excuse me. I've said on the show before. Football was the first time in my life that I learned a very important lesson, and that's just some people are just built different.
Yeah.
And it was the most humbling experience to me where I was like, oh, some of these guys are athletes. Like I am not. And I was like, maybe with some training and shit I can be, but like, no. This like all these like
But then you started.
But well, so here's the thing. I played that 1 year.
57, correct? Am I crazy?
No, not at all. I don't think. Actually, I think I was like, what was I?
I think you were number 57, dude.
I thought I was 60 something. I don't know.
You know, I mean, you should know better. You should know better.
You would think so. You would think that I would know, but I remember 2 things about like my number. I remember when I was given it, like I didn't choose it or anything. So 61? I had 0 connection to my number.
Okay.
I couldn't care about it less what it was, and I just remember like I was very aware of, I guess, my stance on the team and like what even it meant to me, because if I'm being honest, I wanted to quit very early on, and it was my mother did not want to let me try out for the football team.
Okay.
She said no. She brought up like head injuries and shit like that. And if you remember, when we were on the team, that was not a thing.
Back then, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because no one knew about the CTE and all that shit, man. I'll be honest with you right now. When I have kids, like if I have a son, God willing, or whatever, it doesn't matter. If I do happen to have a son, they're not playing football.
Right.
They're not playing football.
Okay.
Dude, we didn't know about any of that shit when we were coming up. You know what I mean? We're talking about 10-year, and I play Pop Warner, right? So 10-year-old kids, 11-year-old kids, fucking running as fast as they can at each other, banging each other in the head, dude. that is not a fully developed brain.
Right.
That is not smart. So like, good on your mom, dude, for fucking seeing that.
She was way ahead of the curve on that shit. And first of all, I agree with you. If there's ever kids in my future, I also believe that I would not let them play the sport.
There's no way happening. I would let them fight before they play football.
I would too.
Because even though that sounds crazy,
I would get them into wrestling or jiu-jitsu first.
There you go.
But yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just, and at least in those sports too, right? It's a controlled environment for training. And then when you compete, there are weight limits. So you're competing with someone more or less your same size.
Right.
In football, the bigger the better.
Right.
So, you know, Pop Warner did have a weight limit, but
I didn't know.
So
wait, it's like you could be too heavy for a
and they would have to sit you. They wouldn't let you play. Yeah.
Wow.
So there would be a couple of times, especially in my first year playing that championship Bayside Raider team, where 2 or 3 guys on the line would be running laps with a garbage bag on. Just to lose a pound or 2.
And this is Pop Warner. These are 10-year-olds doing this?
I was a peewee, so I was 11.
So you guys would be like weighed like fighters?
Yep. They would weigh us.
Wow.
Before every game.
Wow.
And if someone didn't make weight, like it depends
no
on
pads,
the team.
like no pads,
No
or
pads.
with okay,
no pads. And
I'm imagining a bunch of 10-year-olds in speedos now, like with the
no,
towel, like UFC
just with everything but your gear.
Okay,
everything but your gear. And if you were like on a good team, then that could be the difference between you fucking doing your thing or not, right? Like the coaches would be super petty about who they would let play or not if you were a contender. But if you were a garbage team, they'd probably let the big guy play.
Okay,
But we were, like I said, I mean, we went basically almost undefeated the first year I ever played football.
Okay.
Right?
Did you play running back for that squad too?
No, dude, I played offensive line.
Wow.
My first year of football, I played O-line, D-line.
Is it because were you one of the bigger kids?
No.
Or what the fuck was that about then?
I was just fucking, I guess I just was tough enough to keep people away from whatever. Yeah. I played O-line, D-line when I was, my first year of football, I was 11 years old. And I played offensive line, defensive line.
That
then the second year, I played running back, linebacker. Then when I went to high school.
How did that happen? Do you like show up for practice or whatever and the coaches just see like, okay, you are fat, you're faster than this? Or...
So between my first and second year of football, and when I'm talking growth spurt, I'm fucking 5'7". I'm talking about like I just kind of matured between the 11 and 12. I'm sorry, the 10 and 11 season and the 11 and 12 season. And from there, I just got kind of like filled out a bit, got faster, athletic. I was always athletic, but I think the first year I came onto the team when it was they were converging. College Point lost their program, and all the College Point kids came to Bayside. Okay. So I think they just needed a spot to fill.
You were a Bayside kid, or
I was an Astoria kid my whole life, but I went to the Bayside Raiders because it was either play full contact in Bayside, in the Pop Warner League, or play fucking flag in ICYP and Elm Jack and shit. So I wanted the real shit.
And I remember seeing those Bayside Raiders like jerseys around.
Yeah, dude,
Queens.
It was legit, dude. It was legit, man. I had a great. That was shout out to John Surratt. Shout out to all the guys. We won the championship.
Your coaches?
My first year. John was my coach for both years. And then I don't know. It just I guess some guys left the team. Some guys bumped up because remember I'm 88, so I'm a little bit younger. So when I came back that second year, some guys were gone. Spaces needed filling. When you're a kid, it's basically just who's an athlete, who could ball, and I got the running back, linebacker spot.
You don't really remember thinking this year I want to be a running back. This year, did you care what you were going to play?
No, I just wanted to be on the field.
And I feel like that's a big reason why that's you, like your personality. That's why you were good on the team. That's why I think you do well in general. Like you're very much a coach's player.
Yeah.
Like put me in, tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Yeah. It's more fun when we win together. So if I could be a part of what we're doing, if I could be a positive impact on what we're doing, let's do it, man. I don't give a fuck about the glory or nothing like that.
Were you a captain on the Bayside Raiders?
The second year I was. The second year I was a captain, and then that just that trend continued through high school. Captain, freshman year, sophomore year.
Did you do 2 years Tigers? Excuse me, Raiders.
Raiders, yeah.
And then it was freshman year.
Yeah. So, 7th grade Raiders, 8th grade Raiders, prep, freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had 2 years of experience before I played for prep. And then I was a captain freshman, sophomore. Me and Danny Angelastro. Shout out to Big Dan. I still hang out with him every once in a while. He boxes and shit now, too.
I saw you trained with him in boxing.
Yeah, he's nice with it, too.
He got into really good shape, too, right?
He's in great shape. He's coaching the freshman squad.
Oh, whoa, really?
The freshman squad at prep. Oh, dude, they went undefeated this year.
No, the freshman team did?
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he's doing his thing.
Is he the head coach or is he coaching?
The head coach.
Wow, good for you. No more Coach Sock. Okay, good for you, Danny.
I don't know. I mean, God bless him. You know, Coach Saki was cool with me. I never hold a grudge. I don't have any bad feelings or anything with anybody ever. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, even we've shared the same experience. We've been the same thing. My perception's always different, bro. I'm always just like, bro, I never,
You know what's amazing to me is so I'm not like you in the sense that like I can hold a grudge, but I can't really think off the top of my head like who I hold grudges against. But football was something that I took. I decided that I was just not gonna complain about football, and I was just gonna keep my head low, keep my mouth shut.
What happened, right? Your mom.
So early on, I was like, "This is not for me. I'm probably gonna quit," and I voiced that to my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom, who had told me early on before I even tried out, like, absolutely not. And it was actually like my dad that was like, fuck, let him, if he wants to play, let him play. Like, I don't see what the big deal is.
Right. Okay.
And so then after the fact, once I was on the team, I told my mom, I was like, this is not for me. Like, I'm not good at this. There are people that have been doing this for a long time. I remember being like, my coach is like one of the meanest people I've ever met in my life.
The first coach.
Yeah, well,
remember
the lineman coach.
Remember I was switched up?
No, I don't, because so we'll get into this a little bit.
Okay.
But not.
Yeah, Janasek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So
Janasek was a fucking. All right, well, yeah.
We'll get it. So my mom was like, "You are not quitting." She was like, "I'm like, you didn't even want to let me do this." She was like, "Yeah, but now that you're in it, I'm also not going to let you quit." I got you. I don't want you to tear a ligament over here or something, dude.
Look how fucking fast and easy. You know what my problem was? This is what my problem was.
You tried to open it with your skin?
Yeah,
that's usually...
That was the nice and easy way. I opened this up like a fucking dick.
Well, I don't know why.
And I don't know why either. I did this, then I did this, and then this.
Stick to training people. Let me.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, dude.
So now your mom's like, no, you're on the team. You ain't quitting.
And can I tell you, that was one of the greatest lessons she's ever taught me in my life.
Yeah.
And so I didn't quit. I never became good at it at all. It was a season-long humbling experience. Never diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I got concussed like twice that season.
I mean, I've never been diagnosed either, but I'm sure I've had.
Yeah,
I think I've had at least 4.
This is how old we are and how a non-issue head injuries were when we were in freshman in football. I remember getting knocked unconscious in like the fourth quarter of a game that we were getting blown out in.
Yeah.
The coaches realizing that I was unconscious and then telling me to go back in the game so that they wouldn't have to put one of the starters back in since the game was like completely out of reach.
Wow.
And that it wasn't like they were hiding that. It was like openly said on the sideline. And when I said like, yeah, I'm good, it was like this moment of like that's a team player, like it was a moment of honor.
Okay.
Instead of like,
isn't that fucked up how they do that?
Tell me about it.
That's ridiculous.
But here's the thing.
That's a little ridiculous.
But I also, so it goes back to what I was saying before about treating that time on the football team with like a head down, don't complain type of shit. I don't think that they were doing it in a varsity blues coach kind of way. I think that they were also just as ignorant to the severity of head injuries.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong, yeah.
And at that time, that was a badge of honor to get knocked out and get back in the game. Like that, for someone that was, like I said, I knew I wasn't good on a good football player. I wasn't important to the team at all. The team could win 2 games all season like we did without me. You know, we would just.
I know, dude. Who the fuck did we beat?
Okay, our first victory of the year was, and I remember this because the only year I've ever played football.
Was it Mount Rush?
No, Mount Rushmore. Yeah, we went to fucking North Dakota, bro. That's how far we had to
Mount
go.
Rushmore. Yes.
I'll tell you our 2 victories. Zavarian.
Okay.
And I remember playing that game and being in shock that there was a team worse than us.
Right.
And dude, I remember we had 2 interceptions on defense. Kenny Hewitt got one. And
fucking Hewitt,
Kenny Hewitt.
Bro, you were the blast from the past.
He got an interception, and then I remember him being one-upped by his team because everyone was like, "Yo, he got an interception!" Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Kenny Hewitt was in my homeroom, my core.
Right, the H's. The H's.
And so, like, I was like,
you must have been core 408.
That's exactly what I was.
I was 407. Dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Bro, you know who's in my core? Abbas.
Yo, Boss from fucking...
Bro, Abbas was in my fucking core.
Abbas Hamad, a.k.a. Boss, from Fiend Records, who's on tour with J. Cole. Derek Oakley's his, like, fucking, like, manager.
I did a fucking project with Derek Oakley freshman year. We had to do some bullshit for English. We got an A+ on the motherfucker. I went to Derek Oakley's house. I went to Derek Oakley's apartment in Rego Park, and we fucking did our thing.
The Fiend got you A+ then early on.
We got each other an A+. We did our thing. And let me tell you something about Boss. Back in high school, this is when I believe the second Eminem album came out, and this is why it's so cool to think about, like, you know, how successful he is now with the rapping and with his career. Back in high school, in not freshman year homeroom, maybe junior year homeroom, he's listening to the Eminem album, and he comes up to me, and he's like, it's the line when he's like, I'll put Anthrax on a Tampax. Slap you till you can't stand. So he comes up to me, and he's
that's from Superman, right? I can't be your Superman.
Can't be your Superman.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, but I'll put Anthrax on Tampax, slap you till you can't stand. And he comes up to me and says, bro, that's crazy. Do you hear that? And it's like, fast forward to today. It's like, dude, it's like he was meant to be what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he was there. He was there with it, and, like, you know, your destiny's your destiny. So, like, super cool to see his success, Derek's success. Is Forbes with him too? Is Reggie out with him too? I've seen them. I see Reggie cooking.
He's a part of the team somehow. What he's doing exactly, I'm not sure.
Reggie Forbes. Shout out to Reggie Forbes.
I remember,
guy, man.
I remember they were trying to make him a running back freshman year too, and I remember Forbes being like, I don't know.
He was a Forbes. They made him a tight end.
Yeah, exactly.
84.
That fit him more.
Reggie Forbes. Man.
Yeah.
Cool crew. Yeah. So fuck, we keep getting sidetracked. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. We had a good 05 because you know who else? He's super talented in the hip hop game. I think he's gonna hit it big sooner rather than later. But do you remember Rob?
Skittles?
Yeah. No, wait, was that his name in high school?
In high school, he called himself Skittles. Rob something. White guy.
Yeah. From Rocco.
Yeah.
So I guess he's gone through a couple of, was that a twist on Eminem?
I would imagine.
Skittles.
Back in the day, I would imagine. But bro, I remember him.
He used to like freestyle during like lunch breaks and shit. Free periods.
Remember him? I remember Anthony Clark trying to do his thing.
Yeah.
And Clark played football too.
Of course, he was on our squad.
We had a play for Reggie Forbes and Anthony Clark. Because Clark was a receiver, Forbes was a tight end. It was called Moss and Profit. Yeah, I swear to God. It was like Randy Moss and something. I don't know how the fuck it worked out, but there was a play called Moss and Profit on 2-on-2, and I think it was just like a scar. It was just like an X out. It was like an X out. And we were trying to hit Reggie on that flat to let him do his thing. But yeah. Moss and Profit. Yeah, I remember that. Dude, fucking hey. Man.
I see the fact that they even brought up a play from freshman year. That's how much of a non-factor I was to the team. I knew, like, whenever we called the play, I only knew how to the lineman part. Like, you guys would call.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
that's all you need, though.
36 fucking mama blah blah blah. You might as well say whatever.
24 blasts.
There would come a point where, like, sometimes during practice, like I remember that year the center was Jose Cruz.
Dude.
And then he lost a bunch of weight, right?
Dude.
Jose was your boy?
Jose was number 57.
Oh, that's what.
I'm sorry.
Oh, nice. You're just being racist.
I'm sorry. Jose Cruz was number 57.
Because I'm pretty sure I wasn't. And you had me thinking like maybe I was. Fuck, I don't know. You had me talking about like, you know what? I never really had a connection with my number at all.
My bad.
You were like, oh, it was the other Spanish kid. That's right. So Jose Cruz, this is how little like he was really good at like knowing the plays and shit.
Yeah.
And there was like a couple of practices where he just like realized like Will is like has no idea what like the plays are. Like,
so he would just tell you before each
we're every time we walk up to the ball, he's like whispering, "Run block,
run block." Okay, that's a good play. Hey, that's a good teammate, dog. That's a good teammate, man. That's a good teammate. Just try to do the right thing. Just do what you think is right.
When there was one play in practice, he goes, "Oh shit, Will, you got to pull." I was like, "Fuck." I was like, no.
Pass to Johnny. You can't pass to Johnny. I'm Johnny. Will's like, fuck. I got to hit the counter. I got to pull.
He knew. He was like, fuck, Will. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, dude. I'm sorry to be the bearer.
But you got to run behind me to your left, mad hard.
And what I was afraid of, I wasn't afraid of fucking up. I knew I was gonna fuck it up. I was afraid of Coach Janicek lighting me up.
What a fucking degenerate that guy was. Just goes to show who they let fucking teach, coach kids. This is a fucking degenerate gambler who's like banging escorts twice a week.
You censored yourself 3 different times. You were about to be like sluts, whores,
horse was number 1. Horse was number 1. Prostitutes was number 2.
Ladies of the night.
Who had 2 or 3 ladies of the night. This motherfucker is probably dead. If he's actually, he's probably not dead because those guys live forever.
So this is what I was gonna say. Goes back to me saying like the no complaints thing. When I tell stories of my lineman coach in high school, pretty much anyone that I tell these stories to in 2023, 2024, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Like,
I'm sorry.
Here's what I say to them. I was like, I'm actually not at all.
Yeah.
Because I know this is the difference between a high school kid in 2001 and a high school kid in 2024.
Right.
When I knew that I was being treated pretty wrong. Right. I knew the shit that he was saying was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, look, I don't want to get someone in trouble nowadays, but he was definitely saying shit that is not PC for fucking 2024.
Right. But sports ain't PC, dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the thing.
I was okay with it back then. Cause like, you know what? Like there's this Queens comedian, I think out of Astoria, that he's like, I grew up in Queens my whole life, which means that I had no idea that we were being mad racist when we were kids.
Bro, because we weren't.
Right.
Because there's so much, it's such a melting pot, especially Astoria.
And that's exactly
that
right.
We're breaking each other's balls on a friendly level. So there was no fucking
malice.
Yeah,
right. His joke was like, we had a friend named like Black Tom, but it was weird because there wasn't a white Tom. We just had a Black Tom, and we had a Black Tom, and that was it. And I'm like, and I'm still friends with him to this day. Like he's doing great. He works with like Asian Rob, and they're both.
So what's better? What's better? Being politically correct about how you address someone, or still fucking have a loving connection with that person? You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, I will say Janicek never had a loving connection.
Oh no, hell no.
So, but here's how racist Janicek was during freshman football. He had a nickname for some other player. It wasn't Jose. It was another Spanish kid that was like really quiet on the team. I think his name was Edward. I don't know.
Edward Cruz?
No. Why does you think everyone's last name was Cruz? There's Jose Cruz.
Oh. Sorry. Dude, it's Diaz, is it?
I mean, I'm Hernandez and Hernandez. I'm not helping you out at all.
I'm putting a Z in the motherfucker. I'm putting a Z in it somewhere.
I don't know if it was like Edward Pereira or something. But anyways, this dude Edward, really quiet. Yeah, Perez, fine. Very quiet kid, He Like I remember one time we were doing what's that drill? Is it nutcrackers when we're both on the back?
On the back, stand up and run it. Nutcrackers.
So we did Janice. That was Janice's favorite.
Which is why the fuck are linemen even doing that?
That was his favorite drill.
You know what I mean, dude? Like, it's just goes to show you how
that should be more of like a linebacker thing.
Linebacker, running back.
Yeah.
There's no point in any fucking football game where an offensive lineman is getting up off his back and running to tackle somebody. Why are you guys running nutcrackers?
I've never
it's
thought
so
about
stupid. It's so fucking dumb.
I've never thought about that, but
it's a running back D-back
true.
line or a running back linebacker drill. That's it.
That was his favorite thing to do with us, was make us just run into each other like that.
He's probably down on the parlay. That's why he had to fucking take it out
on these fucking cunts. And one of these nutcracker drills, Edward had the hit of his entire life.
Okay.
Because he's not known. He was a quiet kid and he played kind of quiet.
Yeah.
He was bigger, and he at one point he just laid a hit. I don't know. It might have been like on someone like Vecchione or some shit like that. You know, like or maybe Pignataro.
Shout out to Vecchione. He just became a dad.
Oh right,
just became a dad,
nice,
and I
nice.
love Andrew Vecchione. He's like a brother to me, and we played through high school and went to college together.
Nice.
Yeah, me, Vecchione, and Vozos. We
Frankie
went to fucking
yeah. Did the nickname The Bull ever stick with Vozos? That was a freshman football thing. Frankie the Bull. Remember, he was. We'll get back to what I was talking about, but he went from being like the third string quarterback to like the nose tackle freshman year.
Dude, he was like number 11. I just remember
wait,
Frankie.
Number 11 quarterback or number 11?
No, number 11. His number was number 11.
I was like, you just insulted this shit.
I remember that. Not even top 10. Frankie Bozos was an absolute stud. And he went from being like this little fucking dude freshman year. And I could talk like this because Frankie's one of my best friends. We golf together nowadays.
So apparently what I'm finding out is you're friends with the entire team still. Like,
with a couple of them.
Except the Spanish guys. You think we're all the same person. but every white guy on the team.
Wore number 57.
We're all Cruz.
You all have names that end in Z.
We're all Cruz and Hernandez and Perez. Yeah.
No, dude, I train Larry Gallegos.
That much
I'm with still Larry. Sure, I'm still with Larry, and I saw Calderon not too long ago.
That's crazy.
Larry Galderez.
I'm surprised you didn't think you were trading Jose Cruz this whole time. You know, like,
no, Larry's the man. I love everyone.
Shout out to Larry and Lyft, bro. He's working for Lyft.
Dude, he's working for Lyft, and he hates that I use Uber.
Oh, I thought you were about to be like, and he hates it. I'm like, bro,
no. He hates that I'm an Uber guy. And he's
you can't use Lyft for the guy, bro.
No, I can't. No. I can't because he has to step his game up.
Wow.
Larry, step your game up, man.
The fuck does that do? More for the Italian community.
do more for the Italian National Honor Society. I want better pricing. Okay,
we're not gonna start using Lyft until you do something. You team up with Licata. You find out if he's still doing this thing.
And this Peroni beer.
Until there's a Peroni in every Lyft, you will not.
I'm using Uber. I'm using Uber, dog.
Goddamn right. When's the last time Lyft sponsored this man in a fight?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You know,
I got a friendly face.
What's his like job title? Like community outreach.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's a half politician, half corporate.
Every time I see a picture of
Larry Gallegos, let me just say, I love him. We're breaking balls. I love Larry. He's a good.
That's
friend.
good because we're about to eviscerate him.
Okay.
So, can I actually funny story about Larry? This is the quintessential reason. Or like the epitome of why you should never take my advice in anything.
Okay.
So high school, Larry he himself will not deny this. Okay. He was a little bit of shall we say, a rapscallion in high school. He was a little bit of, let's see, you went through a bunch of I'm not gonna call him a slut or a whore. Or lady or man of the night.
Gigolo.
Yeah, he was a little, he was a little loose, he got around, he got around.
No, he did not get around. He did not get around.
So, wink, wink.
Let me use this side, not by the camera.
Yeah. So he was a whore, and I was friends with my core group of friends was me. It was Sheila Bertarelli.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Danielle Brogdon and Zuleika Tenf.
Yeah.
That was my core group of friends, and then we branched off to Calderon, and then Dave would join us or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it was junior year, maybe senior year. Me and Larry are cool. We're pretty cool. At this point, me and Anthony Calderon were fucking. My core group of friends was, besides those chicks, it was me, Dave, and Calderon. Mm-hmm. And Calderon was grew up with Larry.
Yeah.
So I was with Larry a good amount. I remember one day pulls me into the bathroom of East Middle. I remember this. Okay. And I already think this is weird. I'm like, all right, this is...
Yeah, sure.
And
not a stall though, right?
No, right out in the open.
Okay.
I think he wanted me to not feel weird, so he's like, I'm gonna let there be witnesses to this, in case anyone walks in and out. And he's like, all right, bro, I just want to ask your advice because I know you're one of her best friends. And I'm like, all right, what's up?
Okay.
And he goes, yeah, I really like Zuleika.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what you think. Do I have a chance with her? Should I ask her out? Should I even bother?
Man does, yeah.
And I told him, I was like, bro, you don't have a chance in hell.
20 years later, married, 2
kids. 20 years later, 2 kids later.
You really know how to call it. You really know how to call it, bro.
High school sweethearts turned
it's awesome.
Wife and husband.
Yeah.
I went to their wedding. I have pictures of them literally saying I do.
That's great.
And the first person he ever asked about his now wife and mother of his children was me. Yeah, and I told him, I was like, you whore, Zuleika's way too good for you. Oh, you have no chance in hell. You do not even deserve her.
Oh my goodness.
To Larry's credit, and he'll probably also be the first one to agree with this. He changed his entire life the moment, not even that they were together, the moment he started chasing after her. And
what the fuck does that mean, change your entire life? He was 15 years old. What are you changing?
And for 15 years, he was a whore. Okay. All right,
okay. All right. Fair. All right.
He used to slip his Pampers down for a fucking blowjob in preschool, okay? And then pull his Pampers back up.
He's like, you be beauty, I'll be the beast. All right, you give me that smooch, turn me into a prince, all right?
I don't know why you made him Italian, but yeah. Stop whitewashing.
I'm sorry, maybe that was my story.
Some of your childhood just came out, dude. What the hell?
A tale as old as time.
I'm also being rough on him, but I just remember there was a lot of stories that were. But he also he was a dude in high school that liked that was the rumor about him.
Dude,
who wouldn't like that? I wish that was my rumor.
He was a fucking machismo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, ladies, man. He introduced me to Jagged Edge. You know what I'm talking about?
He always was the guy that when we were all into hip hop and punk rock, he was my favorite genre is R&B.
R&B?
Yeah.
Bro, when I trained with him,
I still know who his favorite R&B artist is. Do you know who it is? John B.
Baby, I didn't know that.
Don't talk, baby, just he'll listen to John B and he'll be like, shh. Oh yeah, I love you.
Bro, sometimes in our sessions, so we'll have 2 kinds of training sessions. It'll either be a grappling one where I just put some bullshit on in the background just for noise, and I'm grappling, or it'll be a pad session where he's nice on the pads, you know. And whenever we have that pad session, I put on 90s R&B.
That's what motivates him, huh?
Throwing double hooks. He's like, I just won't get married. Won't you go get married? Meet me at the altar in your white dress. Larry, I love you.
It would be me, Calderon, and Dave listening to hip hop, and then he'll be like, yo, throw on wifey. It's like, bro, there's 4 dudes in here right now.
Dude. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? That's awesome.
So yeah, if you ever have love advice, don't ever ask me, dude. Because had Larry listened to me, he would have never never gotten with his wife. Grab me one too, please, but don't cut yourself.
Yeah, no, of course. You know what? Let me do both, and I could definitely do it the right way now.
Wow.
Watch this. Here we go.
Now who's the trainer and who's the student? Wow, already wrong. Holy shit, my God. Okay.
Already wrong.
He's like, I can do this one. All right, look. See, this is what you're going to catch the lip on. You're going to angle it right here. And then,
I was going the backwards way.
dude, you were trying to give this bottle anal sex. I don't know what you were doing. There you go. Dude. See how you're not bleeding profusely on my desk, too? You see that?
Wow. Dude, listen, I swear I'm cooler in real life.
You can put on a Darce choke from fucking like Full Guard, but you can't open a goddamn Peroni at this.
I can't open a fucking beer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so freshman year, high school football, Coach Janicek, all the guys we played with. That's cool, man. It's good. It's nice to take a little trip down memory lane.
I knew. I mean, this is what I knew. Like this was going to be easy. I was like, look, we're an hour in right now. We haven't even touched on the fact that you really fight or anything like that.
Dude, it's
like,
flying.
Yeah.
It's flying. We're chilling.
This is what happens when you start. I love whenever there's always a moment where a guest of mine might be a little. I don't want to say nervous, but just feeling a little something about
reserved, maybe a little reserved.
They're thinking like, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about.
Right.
Am I even going to be interesting? The awkward silences, and you know what? Like part of me allows my head to go there for like a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm telling you, it's just people forget two things: how easy it is to just fucking talk to someone one-on-one,
especially nowadays,
and two, how fun it can be.
100%.
Because if we're at a bar right now, at some point one of us would have probably brought our phone out or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like we could actually be having a good conversation and we'll still be like wondering like who's on Instagram.
How crazy is that fucking addiction? Mm-hmm. Dude, it's a straight up addiction. It's not even.
Oh yeah.
There'll be times where I go to look for the time. Open Instagram. 20 minutes go by. I don't know what fucking time
you didn't even check the time. Yeah.
You know what I mean, dude? Like it's really wild.
You ever done this? And this is some of the times I hate myself the most. You ever be on Instagram, then exit Instagram, and the very next thing you do on your phone is open on Instagram?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What is that, dude?
And you can scroll for a little while and be like, wait a second, this is not what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Dude. And you know what I tried to do? I tried to put the fucking
timer
on myself. Now I just get annoyed that it tells me
that
your hour.
You have to say like ignore or something now. Yeah.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring every fucking second.
I saw that. I never downloaded it because I knew it's not going to help me at all. It's only going to remind me
that I'm a fucking jerk off.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't.
Dude, I tried to be legit with it for like almost a year, and now I just took the thing off.
Take it off.
I just turned it off because I'm like, bro, every day it fucking hits me, and every day I'm like, ignore. Don't even question me. It's like asking, like Netflix asking you still watching.
I was about to say the same thing. Don't judge me. Just let me watch.
You know what I'm watching right now? And this is old because I don't really watch shit, but I'm 4 out of 5 seasons on The Last Kingdom. With like that Viking show with Uhtred and shit like that.
I had literally no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
The Last Kingdom.
It's called The Last Kingdom. It's a Viking show. I love this shit.
It's new or it's old?
It's old. It was like pandemic style.
The only Viking show I know is called Vikings. And then
right, that's the same kind of shit. You know what I mean? The Vikings are Vikings.
What was this on? What
Netflix
service?
Netflix, and I'm on. I'm gonna start season 5 tomorrow, and they got a movie that came out after it. So,
do you have a favorite show or series of all time?
No, dude.
You're not one of those.
Dude, I never am in the same like. Well, now it's easier, right, with the streaming service. But you used to have to like be watching HBO on Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, I'm never in the same fucking spot at the same time of the week, at the same day to do
Even
that.
growing up, though?
Growing up would be...
Well, you were so much cooler than me. So
no, dude. Growing up in the house, I was a Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune house. Wow. Always Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune.
Like the family, too?
The family. So, dude, I'm Italian. I still live with my family. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
I'm the firstborn male Italian. So, like, I don't leave the house until I find a wife. You know what I'm saying? And even if I find a wife, maybe I bring her in. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny. Like,
I'm proud of that.
Spanish boys are very similar. Like, I'm an only child. Like, my stepdad had 2 other kids, but they're so old that we never grew up together at all. So I grew up just me and my parents. And I'd have friends that were like, "Oh, my parents like wanted me, on my own by 18."
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, "Dude, I was like 32, and my dad was like, don't leave."
Yeah, bro.
If
you know
leave,
what?
it's just us
and
two.
I fucking love that. Let me tell you something right now. Society pushes you in the way of you're not this, you're not that. If you don't have this, you don't have that. Fuck that shit. I don't live to any of those expectations. I love my family. I will stay home as long as I fucking can. And like I said, until I find a woman that I'm going to start a life with, I'm home, dog.
So have you ever moved out of the house and came back? Or
Yeah. I've done that. So I went away to college, and then I lived in a different spot in 48 in Astoria.
Shot number 2.
Oh yeah, baby. For 4 years with some of my closest friends. But I've never lived with a girlfriend. Like I've never, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm very traditional, very old school, and my brother is 12, almost 13 years younger than me, just moved out a couple months ago, living with his girlfriend. Love that. Cool. My cousin moved out, living with his girlfriend. Cool. Love that. Me.
Wait, your cousin? So your cousin was living with you at one point too?
Dude, we're all the same. So my mom and my aunt are twins.
Wow.
Right? So it's like we're a super close-knit family. So I'm the oldest, right? Which is it's kind of interesting. My mom had me super young at 16. Like she had me, she was a teen mom before it was cool.
Yeah.
And MTV made it cool to be a teen mom, right? Which at first is kind of, a little turbulent, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. I'm blessed. Bro, I had a stepdad that came into the picture. My grandfather was always part of the picture. I'm naming after my grandfather. So, like, I was lucky, right? And now, as I'm getting older, I'm 35, going to be 36 in a month. My mom's like my friend, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like she's like my homegirl. Like, we'll drink together. We have a good time. She's still my mom. She'll still fuck me up, But my mom and my aunt. So then my mom moved upstate. My aunt, we all live in my grandfather's house that he bought back in 94.
Wow.
94, 95.
In Astoria?
Astoria, Upper Ditmars. So it's like technically East Elmhurst. That's what the mail says, but it's Astoria.
Okay, yeah. Wait, you visited my old spot, the Diddy. How far were you from that? Do you remember?
5. So that's Diddy's on what, 37th and Ditmars?
I think something like that.
I'm on 75th and Ditmars, but there's no 50s and 60s on our side.
Which, of course, because Queens always made sense.
You know how that goes. 50s and 60s on the other side of the highway.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I'm a 10-minute walk to the Diddy.
Wow. Okay. So you're right there.
I was right there. That's the home. Ditmars is my home strip.
By the way, such a great area too. I love that.
They got everything.
Yeah,
they got everything. Food wise, everything wise.
If I weren't living in so you finally see my apartment, my place, like this.
Beautiful, by the way.
I appreciate
so
you.
cool, so cool.
If I didn't have this nice of a setup here in Bushwick,
right.
I love Bushwick, and I think we don't. This place should probably cost more than it does. If we didn't have this place and this connection here, like I would probably look into Astoria. That was one of it's probably my favorite place. So I was born and raised in Jackson. Well, born in Jackson Heights, raised in Flushing.
Okay.
But I've worked in 2 different bars in Astoria, and I mean, I just think Astoria is so dope. And if I weren't in Bushwick, I'd probably be in Astoria.
I love it over there, man. There's everything you want. It's literally it's mini Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right? It used to be.
I still want to be somewhere where it's like a melting pot of places too, and you get that there too.
Yeah, and you got that for sure. It used to be a mini Manhattan with Queens prices.
It's going up.
Now fucking, it's almost.
There's a lot of.
Still not Manhattan, but it's like, yo, these prices are wild.
I've actually told people, I was like, there are a lot of bars in, Astoria. It's got a very. I almost hesitate to call it up and coming bar scene. I'm like, it's here.
Yeah,
like there's some of the best cocktail programs and beer choices in New York City are in Astoria.
They got a brewery right in Astoria too. They got
for sure.
Cut right over there. Yeah.
There's a couple. So I'm like, you're gonna get some of the best cocktails you've had that are gonna be like pricey, but not $25. But
you'll sub 20. They're sub 20.
Yeah, you'll pay
16,
an $18 cocktail. So I used to make
18,
them. You said your brother was into like mixology or whatever.
Yeah.
The Diddy not so much, but the bar I was at before that was like $17 cocktails, $18 cocktails.
That's what it is.
7 steps to making them. Like it It was a process, yeah. So
yeah, man. But I forgot we were talking about what
age.
Mom,
this is gonna happen.
Everybody, twins. Love my aunt, love my mom, love my family.
There was a point where I was thinking of calling this podcast "Sidebar with Will Bryant" because what happens every time that I do one of these episodes, I go on a sidebar and I go on a sidebar. And
that's the way it goes.
And then I'm also a bartender, you know. So I know, right?
That's it.
But I have such a huge ego that once I renamed the pod, because I started off as Big Kid with Will Bryant.
Yeah.
But the reason was because I actually thought, and it only lasted like 2 episodes, I thought I was going to be a podcast that was more about like nerd culture and like comic movies and comic shit, right?
Dude, it was fucking, I watch, well, I'm going to be completely honest.
Please. Yeah.
I don't watch full podcasts of anybody.
Yeah. Nobody does.
Nobody, dude, I'm like 20 minutes into any podcast and I'm not listening.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Put the fucking music back on. But when I see the clips, when I see the it's almost like a bit. It's almost like a comedy bit. That's how much I enjoy it. It's almost like the other day we put up quick question. That was amazing. When you put up the fucking I sneeze like a bitch. You know, that was fantastic. When you put up the am I really going to East Rutherford, New Jersey to watch the fucking Jets? Dude, that's fucking dude. I can relate to that. I order Uber Eats to not walk to the corner.
Goddamn right.
Like I'm like, dude. When you put the like, it was almost like who wants to come on?
Yeah,
Bro, I gotta be on because I'm like, dude, we're the same.
So I put that post up there like, who wants to come on? And I'm not kidding when I say like, if I could have listed top 3 like of the people that I follow and follow me that would respond to this, you were at the, like one of those top 3 for
thank
sure.
you. I appreciate
like,
that. That's fucking cool, man.
For 2 reasons. Like I knew we would be able to have an effortless, fun conversation.
Easy.
But truly, we have a lot of like history together.
Yeah.
That has truly gone unspoken.
Right.
For the most part.
Right.
Like I said, so we in high school together, but not really friends.
Right. I mean, you know, let's be real, right?
Not really friends.
We
never
hung out. Not really on the outside ever did
to
anything.
me, when we were on that team, I always what's the word? I kind of put you on a pedestal. High school we went to a very stereotypical high school in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where you know how like you see high school on TV and in movies.
It could have been that,
and most people are
at
like,
that time. Prep could have been.
Most people see what happens on like TV and movies, and like my high school is nothing like that. Every time I see one of these movies, I was like, my high school is actually exactly like that.
You're
people see like proms in movies. They're like, that's not a realistic prom. I'm like, that's exactly what our prom was
like. Fucking Marriott Marquis.
Exactly.
Bro.
I say that to people. They're like, where was your prom? Times Square.
Manhattan.
Yeah. I'm saying that to people that moved to New York from like Iowa.
Yeah, dude. Shit like that.
They're like, oh, one of my coworkers from like Minnesota is like, oh, my prom was in like our high school gym cafetorium, you know, or
dude,
whatever.
You know what I get looks? I get looks when I tell the senior class trip. I said, hey, have you ever been to Hawaii?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I've been to when? My senior class trip.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't go on the class trips, like, but I do remember
you should, bro. It was dope. We went to, and the only prerequisite was not being like a delinquent. Like if you had like detentions and if you were a problem, whatever. But if you had good behavior and you had good grades and you were within the first, I think like 80 to reply, you were in.
Yeah.
And I went,
which is crazy. They probably don't even do that now.
I don't know what they do. Yeah, maybe not. But they went to fucking Hawaii for a week.
Point being, we went to a pretty stereotypical.
Oh yeah.
Like we had cliques. We definitely had.
We turn it back, Will. We turn it
like
back.
Over
baby.
the top with Stallone.
Give it a clap. Give it a clap. Cause this is where the shit motherfucker gets real, baby.
We had cliques. We had, you know, the cool table. We had the jocks. We had the theater kids. We had the emo kids. Like I think we're as stereotypical as it gets.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, I am comfortable with where I'm at high school because I don't think I'm one of the cool kids, but I'm definitely not one of like, I didn't get picked on.
Yeah.
Being on the football team freshman year helped a lot. But I was only there for 1 year because I didn't quit freshman year. But I was like, I know this is not for me. Like
after the season, you were like, I'm not going
back.
I was
done. Yeah. Never played. I never played any sport again, really, because I was the type of kid that did like baseball when I was younger. I played on a baseball team like the next year, but not a fucking high school baseball team.
Right,
I was like you pay to play in.
You know who the coach was, right?
In baseball?
Brother Rob.
I don't really know Brother Rob that well though.
Brother, let me tell you something about Brother Rob.
Brother
Rob was a freshman year algebra teacher.
Okay, I do remember this a little bit.
And one day, somebody threw a fucking piece of paper at Brother Rob. And let me just tell you what school he came from. He's a Franciscan brother. He's a brother.
Yeah.
Brother Rob. He turns around and he goes, I'm not going to say the word. Which one of you capital F's just threw that piece of paper?
Wow.
I was a baseball coach.
Slash Franciscan brother.
Slash Franciscan brother. Which one of you capital F's?
You know something though? So I went. My elementary school was in Flushing. I went to a Catholic elementary school. I went to St. Michael's, the Archangel Parish. Nice. Yeah. Where'd you go?
Our Lady Mount Carmel.
Okay.
In Astoria. Yeah.
So our faculty, I swear to you, they actually discouraged us from applying to St. Francis Prep.
Why?
I will tell you exactly why.
Okay.
So I had a very close relationship with a priest in my school that was in charge of the altar servers, and I was I was in altar service for years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And my last year, my 8th grade, I was what was called the head or the #1 MC, master of ceremony. I was in charge of all of the altar servers, and I answered to the priest in charge of us.
Right.
And Father Michael was this priest. By the way, I've said it on the show, an episode sometime in the past, but Father Michael, when he was naming the head MC for the final year that I was in elementary school, he like pulled me to the side and he was like, "Look, I'm gonna name you my head MC." And he's like, "Between you and me, you know that it should probably be this." And there was this other girl, Christina, that me and her had been in there for like the same amount of time, and we were like always like, you know, two of the most involved altar servers.
Right.
I have zero issue saying she knew the shit, like the details better than me. She knew every part of the mass better than me.
Sure.
She knew all the prayers better than me. She just knew. I would rely on her to be like, yo, what do we do here?
And shit. Yeah.
This was just known. Like I had zero issue. Like I didn't have this complex. I was like, yeah, you're way better at this than I am.
Right.
Father Michael pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, I'm going to name you the head MC."
What'd he say?
And he goes, "Between you and me, we both know that it should probably be Christina. But I don't think that everyone else is going to listen to a woman as much as they'll listen to you."
Back then.
Yeah.
Back then. So
this is the year 2000, because we were freshmen in the year 2001.
Yeah.
Because we were in school for like 2 days when 9/11 happened.
Dude, a week.
Yeah, it was.
I remember where I was when I heard the news.
I remember what period it was. I think it was F period.
I was F. Were you in fucking Mrs. K's?
No, we all
religion?
had F period though. Like,
no, but I'm saying, were you in
I was
religion?
Mr. Pure. I was in global history with Mr. Purificado.
I was in religion with Mrs. K.
Okay.
And she was like, a plane just hit the.
So the way that I remember that was someone came into the room and was like, put on the TV, and he was like, "What channel?" And whoever came in said, "Any of them."
Wow.
And we were all like,
wow.
"Oh shit, yeah." And then we didn't talk for like the next.
I got pulled out of school early that day.
So did I. Yeah. So
yeah.
Did I. Yeah.
And I didn't hear the announcement. People came, I fucking think Larry came up to me and was like, "Dude, like, your dad's here trying to find you."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember I had to go to the auditorium.
Yeah,
to, like,
that's where, dude. I had to go there.
Yeah,
I was in fucking lunch. It was. I think the news happened like a period before lunch, and Miss K was like, the religion teacher, was like, "Yeah, a plane crashed into the World Trade Center."
You weren't watching it on TV?
No.
So someone told our teacher to put it on TV, and we put it on TV.
You saw the second one?
Because we had the first one on, and we were just like, "Wow, it's crazy." And
the second one happened live in front of you guys?
Yep.
Fuck,
we saw
dude.
The second plane fly in live.
That's
for
crazy.
Sure, yeah.
That's crazy. Because you remember every day we had that 10 minutes.
Channel 1,
right?
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes. But that day, I think it was like the period right before lunch, And
I think what happened was that
the second one already hit.
It happened earlier, but like we just didn't do anything normal the rest of the day. We didn't switch classes.
No,
we stayed.
Yeah.
We stayed in that
I
classroom.
went from religion straight to lunch.
Right, exactly.
And then in the cafeteria, this is fucking Larry Gallegos. Came in, he's like, yo, I hear your name. I think someone's here to get you. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I went to the auditorium, and my father was there. He was like, yo, let's get fucking going. And he was pissed at me because I took too long to get there.
That's funny.
The story of my fucking stepfather. Go to the fucking store to get a fucking loaf of semolina. I come back with a French loaf. Bang. You know what I'm saying? Story of my fucking Sicilian stepfather. We won't go there. But yeah. And I remember going home and the LIE was closed. Bro, everything was on fucking lockdown. Lockdown before lockdown was lockdown. You know what I'm saying, bro? It was legit. And I got home and I just kept thinking my grandfather was a delegate for Local 1010, a union.
Okay.
And his
union
job
for what? What did he do?
Pavers and road builders.
Okay.
Real mobster shit. Real gangster shit. Yo, my grandfather got brought up on charges. Yeah,
really?
Bro.
Oh, you are so Italian.
Probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Bro, Rocco Ciancio versus State of New York.
Wow.
And knowingly associating with La Cosa Nostra.
Really?
Bro, I've never been
proud of it.
You know? Bro, I swear to God, for like
Is he also Rocco Giambrone?
No, he's Rocco Ciancio.
Oh, Ciancio is
my stepfather is Giambrone. So I took he legally adopted me when I was in like the 7th grade.
Okay.
So I'm a Giambrone, right? But for like 2 years of my life in the house I'm in now, my grandfather's house, he was like shredding documents. It was like the fucking bro. It was like the Nixon administration. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my grandfather was a G, dude.
That's funny.
And I years later, you find out that what happened. Dual unionism, this, that, and the other. Yo, my grandfather fucking did it.
Is he still with us?
He's not with us. Yeah, that's my man.
I remember. I actually saw you signed your pro contract.
I did on the anniversary of his death. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And that was fucking cool, man. To be able to, like I said, in the post, to honor. That was my man. That was my man. And to honor that on the 3rd year anniversary of his passing was like, yo, I'm doing the right thing. But either way, we're on 9/11,
right,
and we're fucking. My dad is fucking hopping the fucking thing of the LIE.
Wow.
He's, he picked me up from school. He's in a Ford Explorer. I'll never forget this. Ford Explorer picks me up from school. He's pissed off that it took me so long to get to the auditorium. We leave, and I just remember my throat being like, yo, like I want to ask, like, yo, is Pop okay? Because he was.
Does he work? Did he
dude,
work
he was the downtown guy getting people on their books. He was trying to get people on their books. So my Uncle Nicky worked.
What does that
Brooks
mean?
Brothers.
Getting people on their books?
It means getting them in the union.
Okay.
If you got your union book, you're in.
Got it.
So he's the guy who went to the job sites to fucking, you're gonna be with us.
Got it.
You're gonna be with them, kind of shit,
Yeah.
And my Uncle Nicky was a Brooks Brothers tailor across the street from the Trade Center.
Wow.
So my grandfather was going to be down there. My uncle was going to be down there. My aunt, everyone was going to be down there. That day where they weren't because they went to the closing of my great-grandmother's house on 36th Street in Astoria. So all 4 siblings were in Maspeth.
Wow.
So on a day where 2 out of 4 would have been downtown Manhattan, they're all in Queens watching it happen. So I get picked up and I'm on the way back home and I'm thinking, I want to add the shit's balling up in my throat. I want yo, is Pop okay? I call him Pop. Is Pop okay? I didn't even I couldn't ask the question, but everyone was all right, bro. And thank God, not everyone mad. It was, dude, that was fucking crazy. That was crazy. But,
I remember one of the moments where I realized that I am older than I'm not young anymore. And this is a while ago. I had just gotten promoted at a job, but before I was ever even a bartender or anything in the industry, I still had a corporate, or not a corporate job, but an office job. I just got promoted to being in an office job. I turned retail into an office gig, and I took a bunch of kids out to celebrate with me, drinks right after work. I was like, come with me across the street, drinks on me. I just got promoted. Fuck
nice, hell yeah.
I didn't even know that half the people I invited to go with me across the street to the bar got in with fake IDs. I had no idea. They probably had
State of Philadelphia.
I was about to say State of Philadelphia with an extra syllable in their last names. It worked. It worked for that bar. And it was a 10th anniversary, I think, of 9/11, and it was like I think it's been a year or two at that point that they did the beams of light.
Yeah.
And we're drinking, we're having a good time, and I'm looking at the TV, and I'm like, man, I still remember that day. And the entire table looks at me and they go, you remember 9/11?
Get the fuck out.
And I was like, how fucking old is everyone at this table?
Yeah. Bro, that was a fucking big pivotal point in history, man. We lived through a big
But do you realize now that we that might as well, all right, so I have a coworker who was born in like the year 2000, I think. And the way that she likes to, because to me, I'm like, you look like a baby. Like,
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
my brother. My brother was born 2000.
Okay.
Like, you know. So they're gonna be what, 24 coming up,
right? When this chick came with us, because at the Comedy Cellar, a lot of times we just go right across the street to the McDougal Ale House. Shout out to the McDougal Ale House.
Yeah, hell yeah,
and they treat us well there.
Hell yeah.
And I remember one time she was like, "Will, you coming across the street?" I'm like, "Are you coming across the street?" I'm like, aren't you 18? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, "I'm 24 or whatever." I'm like, "You look like
you good? You good?
I just opened one. Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm good. Look at this. Look at this.
You learned.
Bro, I'm a fast learner.
So
I'm
proud.
a fucking
so
moron
proud.
is what I am.
And I'm like, do you have a fake ID? She's like, Will, I'm 24. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she uses this sentence that I'm about to say as a way of like convincing people that she's not that young. She goes, I was alive for 9/11.
Alive,
right,
bro.
And I'm like, could you walk though? Were you like,
yo, my brother he couldn't walk. My brother's a baby, and he was born in 2000.
Do you know what this chick told me?
He was a baby.
She's like, yeah, for people my age, 9/11 isn't that big of a deal.
It's hard to hear, man.
It is.
Listen, I'm sorry. Listen, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, it's hard to hear someone say 9/11 was that big of a deal, bro. That's
especially New Yorkers.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
Like and
she went
on to say like, yeah, like people my age, like we kind of just joke about it.
Ah, man.
And like for like
I don't know about that.
I like kind of just I was like, oh, that's rough. I was like, yeah, I'm old enough that I still cry about like if I watch the memorial reading of the names.
Oh my goodness. Dude,
I can't.
Listen, I wasn't old enough to live through Pearl Harbor.
Right.
But I'm not gonna say I'm gonna joke about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
It's it's weird because like I don't think I've ever, to me, I guess I don't know. Are we about to have one of these kids these days type of conversations? Because
dude, let me tell you something. I thought about that.
Yeah.
I feel like every 10 years, right, dude? It's so funny. We're talking about this right now. I was watching this morning. Right, I'm a big Turner Classic Movie fan. I love the oldies. I love the black and whites. Yeah, TCM. I love that shit. I watched a movie this morning in 1931.
Okay.
That's fucking 4 years ago? 93, 94 years ago. And the women back in that movie were like, men will never understand. Men will never, blah, 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 blah. Bro, it's the same shit. So I feel like every 10 years.
Do you know what movie you're watching?
Yeah, it was called Tonight or Never.
Right,
Tonight or Never. And I feel like every 10 years, it's the same recycling bullshit. So, meaning this. How many times have you heard, this generation doesn't understand what we're going through? Yeah. Like every 10 years. So, from 0 to 10, you're a baby. You don't know nothing what's going on in the world. You know you're home. From 10 to 20, you kind of have an idea and you kind of form an opinion, but you never know. From 20 to 30, you have an opinion, you have a job, and you care about something. Mm-hmm. From 30 to 40, it's usually fucking flip-flopped, right? And then from 40 to 50...
So? What do you mean? What's flip-flopped?
Your view on the world. Your view on the world.
Got it. You don't think the same way you did.
You don't think the same way.
I agree. Sure.
And then from 40 to 50, you just want to be left in peace. From 50 to 60... I'm okay. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? So every 10 years is the same 10 years, no matter what time it is, whether it's 1810 to 1820, 1820 to 1830, it's the same shit. And the people that capitalize on it are the people that can control the emotion.
To your point, I think that's a big reason why the older we get, the less, we just don't get too angry.
Bro, it's part of the cycle.
You don't want to hold grudges.
It's the same cycle with different issues. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you could be upset about the war in Vietnam, right? In the 60s, 70s. The same way you're upset about the war in the Middle East in the 90s, 2010s, 2000. But it's the same
or Gaza
cycle.
Strip in Ukraine right now.
Right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's always going to be a fucking thing. There's always going to be this. There's always going to be that. And it's the same, like, to me, maybe I'm wrong, and I'll you know, if you can prove me wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong, but to me, it's the same fucking plays in the same playbook with different players. Every generation, every 10 years, you know? So they just keep us in this perpetual cycle of fear, of this, of that. Nothing really changes, even though the players change. Right. It's the same shit, dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say?
I think I get what you're trying to say a little bit, because we got down this sidebar by talking about, I literally threw out the statement, is this about to turn into a kids these days type of scenario, right?
Right.
And I cannot help but watch Instagram videos and be like, kids these days.
Yeah.
But what I try to consciously do is, I was a kid these days, and I remember just 10 years ago, we were bitching about kids these days, and now those people we were bitching about 10 years ago,
that's exactly my point.
They're actually kind of not idiots anymore.
That's probably my point. That's exactly
we'll be in the
my
bar
point.
with those kids, and we'll look at new kids and be like,
that's
kids
exactly
these days.
My point, dude. Yeah. Every 10 years, the bullshit recycles, regurgitates.
So here's my question to you then, because I see this, and by the way, I don't think I'm some type of fucking savant that I noticed this.
No, but you're a fucking human.
I try to not be too judgmental then on the kids these days, because I realize
aren't.
I was about to say, I was going to ask, do you think you're on the judgmental side, or are you?
No. I'm not on the judgmental side as far as what's happening, because I understand that the what's happening is still part of that cycle.
Right.
Right. So whether it's a 10-year cycle of, let me try to pick something that's like super basic. Excuse me. Ninja Turtles are cool from 90 to 2000. Just for reference, for bullshit.
Sure, yeah. I would argue from 87 till now, but yeah. No
87 till...
They were always cool, bro.
That's not a wrong argument.
These guys are always cool, bro.
Have you ever seen the fucking...
Talk about fuck the Peroni.
Have you ever seen the... let's get these out of the way. Have you ever seen the fucking... the toys that made us?
Oh, I think I've seen every episode.
Turtle on the shelf. There's no turtle on the shelf. That's my point. My point is, no matter what the cycle is, right? This is a moving part. This is a moving part within the cycle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, so no matter what the moving parts are within the cycle still exists. So adults, 35-year-olds in the 70s were like, can you fucking believe these kids growing up on rock and roll, on fucking Elvis Presley?
That's exactly right.
The fucking kids in the 60s were like, can you believe this fucking chick growing up on, you know, dude, it's
at one point, the Beatles were kids nowadays.
The Beatles, the Stones.
Buddy Holly before that.
Dude.
After Johnny Cash.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, There's always the same element, of a repeated shit.
People right now, they're looking at like Ice Spice shaking her butt with like a mini skirt that shows half her ass, and they're like, can you
Madonna did that in 84.
Dude, when Elvis Presley was on the Ed Sullivan Show, they said, do not film him from the waist down because of the way he's gyrating his hips.
Right. Dude, I'm saying... You know what I'm talking about.
There's always going to be something that's
the
just...
same shit, though. Yeah. Like, there's always going to be something.
Yeah.
And it's going to be different for the generation that's, like, happening right now. Right. But it's the same fucking thing. And if you're in charge, right? If you're in control of what the cycles are, you're making out every single time.
For that reason, and by the way, that's enough of the...
No, don't do that.
That's enough of the Ninja Turtles.
I'm nervous. Let's put it back up. These are legit. These are never open.
No, but you know what? It's only out of laziness. Like, I have a bunch of unopened figures that I'm gonna open. You've seen. So you've gotten the tour of my crib. You saw a lot of action figures.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're not gonna harp on this too long. But I'm not. When I buy an action figure, I don't give a fuck about keeping it in the packaging. I'm all about opening them up.
I'm going to ask you a serious question.
Go for it.
All right.
Most serious question of the day.
And I knew I was going to walk into some kind of situation. I'm just saying, like, Batman versus Batman, specifically Batman.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, sure.
Is he a superhero?
I love the question, because the idea is, do you need superpowers to be a superhero?
And my answer is yes.
So then Batman's not a superhero, he's just a hero. By the way, I love that this is the first shot that you're pouring. By the way, do you know how to pour a shot, or are you going to bleed?
I might fuck something up. This one I got.
Well, very close to spilling, dude. But you're right on the edge. All right, I'll get.
Oh! Dude, that's how I live my life.
Could not be more to the rim.
That's how I live my life. If something's due on fucking Tuesday, I'm doing it Monday at 3 a.m.
All right, so I always have bounty at the ready, just in case.
Shit.
So all right. So if a superhero needs superpowers,
Right.
so technically, Captain America's super soldier syndrome. The way they used to explain the super soldier syndrome is that it takes a human ability to the absolute peaks of what it's capable of.
Steroids.
So does that mean if Captain America is just the absolute peak of a human being, does that mean he's also not a superhero?
He's not a superhero.
And if that's the case, then I'm okay with that. Because I think the reason I'm okay with that is because, to me, the question it's not important if Batman is a superhero or not. What's important is that Batman is probably better than all other superheroes, and he's only a hero. He doesn't need. He's a super. He's
better than the actual superheroes that have superpowers.
Correct. And here's why. I'll tell you why exactly. And here's the very nerd way of talking about Batman. There's always one question when it's a very simple way to like break this down. Like, can he beat so and so in a fight? Right. The one question that that someone will always ask is there prep time? Meaning,
what, between a conflict?
Yes. Does Batman know he's entering into this fight with the other person?
I mean, he gets the bat signal, so he's ready to rock.
So like, because they always say, like, who would win in a fight, Batman versus Superman? If you in a vacuum, you put them together, zero prep time, Superman obliterates him with one laser vision through the fucking chest.
I would 100% agree.
But that's why the question is always, is there prep time?
But the prep time does what? Means that Batman has intelligence.
Exactly.
Right?
Which
is that a superpower? No. Or is that a gift?
Is Stephen Hawking a superhero?
Fuck Stephen Hawking. Okay. Fuck all those Epstein Island motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Is he a superhero? Because you know what's funny? There was
I am
the Epstein
tired.
list. The Epstein list came out, and they're like, Stephen Hawking wanted to be around a bunch of young people.
Simpsons predicted it,
and someone was like, he just liked to watch, and it's like, well, what else? What else was he gonna do? Type really fast? You know, like
yes. I'm coming. 27 G's.
Of course he's gonna watch. The fuck. Give him the best lap dance in the world. He's not gonna.
Does dick work?
I don't think so. I did see that movie.
If your dick doesn't work, do you want to live? I'm sorry. I'm just jumping in with a hard
question. It's a good question.
If your dick doesn't work, do you want to live?
All right, living that's it for this podcast. I'm Will. No, because you know what? Like, honestly, as much as I love life, like, if I don't have a working dick, like, my God, how much can I actually get out of life? You know, like,
dude, I love birds in the backyard. I love good music. I love good company. I love training hard. I love competition. But if my dick doesn't work, I feel like there's a part of me, a real part of me, that just, why am I here?
A real 3-inch long part of you.
It's 2.5, 2 and 3/4
Hard.
around. But I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like, I don't know. Is that like a fucking macho thing? I'm not trying to be macho. I'm being for real. I love things in life.
If I was
if
the type of guy,
my dick doesn't work, what's the ultimate goal?
If I was the type of guy that struggled in the sex department and only had sex once every 5 years, and you told me that chance is gone, I'd be like, well, kill me now.
Dude.
Just kill me now.
Right? And that's like conservative, once every 5 years. That's, you know, I'm not going to get into it. I'm a gentleman. I'm an absolute gentleman.
Obviously.
My bro.
No, I agree with that.
Right away, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel the ultimate.
No, there's this character on The Boys that like had sex with someone whose superpower was like basically she was like Iceman, like she could just turn into ice.
Okay.
And while they were having sex, she had an orgasm and turned into ice and froze his dick off.
Off?
Yeah, and now this guy has to live without a dick.
Was this guy a superhero?
No, just a normal
A regular
dude.
fella?
Yep.
And she froze his dick off.
Yeah. What
selfish.
The fuck? What the fuck would you do at that point?
Fuck. Selfish as fuck. How are you gonna do that to somebody?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would take that role as an actor. Like, I don't even.
So wait a minute. Let me get this right. I'm gonna have a sex scene with her, but
no. By the way, there was no sex scene ever.
What?
He told this story in like in The Boys. There's a version of Alcoholics Anonymous where it's people that have been traumatized by superhero interactions.
Ooh, dude, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The Boys is a pretty
someone
real
who like
take.
someone who like, you know, like I don't know, ran super fast across them, and they're like, "What?"
Well, actually, the very first episode of The Boys has the main character's girlfriend explodes in front of his face because a superhero that was high on a superhero steroid ran so fast that he ran through his girlfriend and exploded her in front of her face.
Is that a metaphor?
No, not at all. A-Train.
Is that a metaphor for a black man?
Oh, he is black, first of all. By the way.
Dude, how did I know? How did I know that the black guy ran through his girlfriend and exploded her?
You know what?
All over the camera?
The Boys is deeper than I thought. Because A-Train is indeed
Antoine.
And I don't know if his name was Antoine, but he might be.
Sorry. I'm bullshitting. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
How did you know? He was black.
He was a fucking athlete.
Yeah.
And he ran through this chick. Literally.
And a white guy lost his girl to a black guy running.
A tale as old as time.
And his name was A-Train. She literally had a train ran through her.
It's the beauty of the beast. A tale as old as time. Beauty.
All right, we're at a point where we've had so many sidebars where I think it's pretty.
I don't even know.
Exactly.
Even know.
So because it's so hopeless to realize where we were, I'm actually gonna just do a random sidebar here.
Let's do it.
And your last post on Instagram, I had this moment where like you made me feel the way some of Boss's posts do. Okay. And here's what I mean.
Okay.
Boss will put up a post where he's with someone that I like admire, and I'm like, holy shit, someone that I once crossed paths with, someone that I know is cool with this person. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
You put up a post where you were training with Gary.
Wow.
Gary, is it
Tonin?
Tonin?
Gary
I don't know
Tonin.
if it was Tonin or Tonin.
Yeah, Gary Tonin.
But Gary Tonin, who it's basically him. He's one of the basically two most respected, besides John Danaher. he's one of the most. It's like him and was it Ryan Gordon?
Ryan.
Excuse me, I got him mixed up.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners of our time.
Yeah, Gary is. When you talk about Gary, you talk about jiu-jitsu excellence.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the reason leg locks are so
100%.
in right now, so dangerous, so widely accepted right now. He's a big part of the movement that made leg locks. It went from being like
almost like negligee, almost like, whoa, what are we doing?
Right.
To like
but,
bringing it to mainstream, main comp.
So let's talk about that. Like the reason you're a purple belt, right, in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason leg locks for so long had that
stigma.
That's a perfect word for it. Is because of how dangerous they are, right?
100%.
And doing that in practice is almost like a "what the fuck is wrong with you" kind of move.
Dude, I've seen people practice leg locks and practice that leg game over and over, and I can't tell you how many fucking knee repairs I've seen, how many MCLs torn, how many ACLs torn. Like, because when you practice it at that level, things are gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous part of the game.
How long did it take you to get your purple belt?
Oh, dude, so that's a great question. I started training 2015, started fighting 2016. I think I got my purple belt in 2022.
All right.
But that was only because I changed my kind of direction. I wasn't so much 100% in jiu-jitsu. I turned to MMA.
Right.
And when you turn to MMA, and that's your primary kind of factor and training, regimen, you don't really excel in the jiu-jitsu belt game.
So you say turn to MMA. Was your first foray into combat sports, was it jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, it was actually, dude, it was a perfect combo.
Actually, can we talk about that? You did football throughout your whole high school career and into college.
So I played Pop Warner, right? When I was 10 to 12, I played Pop Warner. I played high school, and I got a scholarship to play in college.
Full ride?
Half.
Okay.
So I got half
to
academic.
You said Oneonta?
Hartwick.
Oh.
Hartwick College in Oneonta.
Got it.
So we got like SUCO, which is State University of Oneonta.
Okay.
And then we have State University College of Oneonta, SUCO, and Hartwick. SUCO didn't have football.
Where is this?
Oneonta, New York.
Is that upstate?
Upstate, 3.5 hours away.
Okay.
So the State University didn't have a football program. Hartwick did. I got recruited there. I got half academic, half athletic scholarship to play.
So you had, in total, you had a full ride.
In total, I only had like 10 grand.
Okay.
And this is a 40 grand school.
Oh,
40 grand a year school.
And you made this squad with Vozos? Frank Vozos?
Oh yeah. Me and Frankie got recruited together.
Nice.
Yeah, Frankie got recruited together. Vecchio went up. So us three from Queens went up together.
Wow.
And we played. Frankie, straight up stud.
Really?
Straight up stud. Vecchio and I, we had to earn it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
What do you mean earn it? What was that like?
Means that like we had to go through the ropes. Mean that like we had to like get our reps in to try to get on the field. Frankie got that shit like literally straight up when we got there because he was
like he saw mad playing time versus you guys.
He saw mad playing time. He was the dude. Frankie was the number one recruit, and we were considered as like
his entourage, his boys.
Yeah,
really?
considered as like if we bring those guys up too,
really,
Frankie will definitely commit to us.
Wow,
yeah, that's how good Frank was.
That's crazy because like. Freshman year, I would have thought like you would have been.
Dude, Frank was a specimen.
By the time
Frank was a specimen.
Wow. Okay.
Kid took care of his. The kid took care of business. You know.
Okay.
So
he never tried to be a quarterback again after freshman. year.
No. He was a defense guy. He was a linebacker.
Okay. Wow.
Frank was a linebacker. You know, me and Vecchio went up as fullback, tailback. Okay. So Vecchio was blocking for me and shit. We went up and
he was a fullback.
Yeah.
That makes sense. He was a little too athletic to be a linebacker.
Big old boy. By
the way, can I say freshman football is when I learned beyond the shadow of a doubt that I was fat. Because they put me on the line, and I was like, this is with all the fat people. And then I realized, I'm fatter than him. I'm fatter than him. I'm fatter than him. I was like,
important role.
I was like, I belong here. Holy crap.
But yeah, we went up, we played. Frankie and I.
Wow, you're
eager. I'm in the zone now. I'm in the zone now. Frankie and I pledged the same fraternity.
You're in a frat.
Dude, I'm a frat boy.
Oh, man.
I know you probably don't look highly on him, but I'm a frat guy.
Frankie
and I are in Delta Beta Rho.
Frats, I treat frats like I treat religion and I treat dry January.
Carefully.
Not for me, but if it helps you out, more power to you. Dude,
we had a good time. We had a good time.
There you go.
We had a
Cheers.
good time, brother. We had a good time. And Frankie and I are in Delta Beta Rho. Vecchione decided not to pledge. So he kind of stayed out to the side. Because his brother had gone to Iona College and knew what pledging was all about. And his big brother gave him the advice of like, yo, don't do that.
Really? Why? Did he ever tell you why?
Just because it was a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude, pledging.
Do you
is
agree
a lot
with
of
this? Yeah. Well, like what? Like what is like? What was like pledging in a frat? I've never done it.
All right, so pledging in a frat is pledging in a frat is wild. You're basically trying to show who you are, right? And this is the funny part. This is the weird part. Is that like they want you to be in a frat. The older brothers want you to be in. But you're in trying to prove yourself, right? So it's like a conflict of interest. And we do a bunch of wild shit. And we do a bunch of silly things. And, there's some physical shit.
Can you say one wild or silly thing that you did that won't get anyone where the statute of limitations has expired? Because right now you sound like a finance bro trying to not incriminate.
I was ruining America. Yeah. I'll tell you right now.
Some things happened and they went down and,
So one of the things we did, we had to get the older brothers lunch. So we would have to we'd have to pack our laptop bags with full of cold cuts and pizza and French fries, shit from the mess hall to bring to dinner duty. Which dinner duty was our time. So that's the easy part of it, right? You gotta get food for the older brothers. You gotta roll blunts for the older brothers. You gotta fucking clean the house.
Roll blunts for the older brothers.
Dude, when you're an older brother, dog.
You don't strike me as a weed smoker though. You are?
We think I got with me right here.
Wow. All right.
Check it out. Not only do we have El
Tesoro.
We got sluggers.
Wow, let's see what the sluggers is. What is this?
We got sluggers on deck.
Sluggers is what?
That's the rosé.
I can't even open it.
Yeah, hit the double edge right there. Pop it open.
That's
a joint.
I literally just
a joint just shot out at you.
Oh, nice. Oh, 2 joints just.
Oh, so you fucked the whole thing.
Listen, I didn't know. Listen,
That's why it was so funny when you were like, dude, I don't know if you're having carbs or anything.
Yeah.
If you only knew, dog.
All the carbs. All right, I'm down to smoke that joint.
We're gonna smoke.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
That's why I brought it. Good,
perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, so pledging was, silly. And then we get in. Dude, let me tell you a story. From pledge year to the last year I went to college, I went from pledge to president.
You did all 4 years, graduated, and all that shit?
Hell no, I didn't graduate.
Oh, I was saying, I didn't graduate. I didn't graduate either.
Bro, I had a .45 GPA. Wow. I didn't even have a half.
Why? What happened? Partying too much?
Yeah, partying.
Same thing.
Because like I told you, I was straight edge. I was principal's list, fucking doing everything by the book. Then I went to college and I had that taste of freedom and I overcorrected.
Yep.
Right? I went nuts. Never went to class, partied all day, slept in all morning.
Did you drink perhaps too much?
Perhaps. Come on, dog.
So did you smoke perhaps too much?
I found weed.
Yeah.
And I started drinking.
Can I ask you something? Did you know earlier on in your life that you had an addictive personality?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Before you even tested it?
That's why I never did it.
Can I say that I knew that I was going to be a pothead before I ever smoked weed?
I know it, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be that guy. Yeah. I stayed away from it so much in high school because I knew I would be that guy. And ask Andrew Vecchione. We're on the fucking sideline of one of our Hartwick practices.
Yeah.
And this is like a spring ball practice where the starting O plays the starting D.
Yeah.
And second O plays second D.
Sure,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
And I tell him on the sideline, I said, dog, I want to be a weed smoker. But I don't want to be a hippie weed smoker.
Okay.
I want to be a gangster weed smoker.
The fuck does that mean? The fuck is
That
that?
means I smoke weed and listen to like Mobb Deep. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know what gangster smoker means.
Smoking on
but I
gin
knew I
and juice.
But I wanted to fucking be that.
Yeah.
And Vecchio can fucking vouch for that, dude.
Was he a weed smoker?
Once in a while guy. He was a once in a while guy, you know. But he had an older brother who was looking out for him, who was like in a frat at Iona. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, don't do it up there. So
it's funny that this is the man that has like children now, and you and
he's
I
just
are talking about
basically born. God bless him. I love him. But,
married? Is he married?
I don't know if he's married, but I know he's with a chick, another chick from prep.
Did they stay together the whole time?
Wait,
that was his girl back then, no? Wasn't that his girl?
He's been with her for a while. Listen, I'm not trying to talk it out of turn, but he's been with her for a while and he has a baby with her now. And I love him.
Were they together in prep?
No, not in prep.
Okay. Sorry, Kelly.
But either way, I fucking do my thing in college. And I get to the point where I'm at this fraternity. So you're going to laugh at this. Talking about moms, right? Talking about moms knowing what's best.
I said mobs. I was like, we have not
talked about moms. Like,
mob
your
deep.
mom was like, yo, you're not quitting.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And I talk about my mom right now. So I'm up there. I get voted in as president.
To the frat.
I get voted, but my fraternity was not recognized by the school. Okay. So we're basically just like a group of fucking guys, right? Right? So my mother hits me with probably the funniest fucking line I've ever been hit with in my life. I call her, yo, Ma. She's like, yeah, you're never going to believe it. I'm president. She's like, what do you mean you're president? I'm president of Delta. They voted me in. I'm president of Delta. She goes, wait a minute. But you're not recognized, right? I go, no, Ma, we're not recognized. So she goes, so you're telling me you're the president of your friends? I say, yeah, Ma, I'm the president of my fucking friends. What do you mean? I'm like the cool, but my friends voted me the president of the Yo, she tears me up. My mother tears me up. She keeps me honest.
President of your friends.
You're the president of your friends, you fucking loser. That's and yeah, I was a president for a year, and it was cool, man.
What does it mean to be president of a frat?
It means to be the guy they got to reach out to throw the parties. I make the decisions and you know, shit like that.
I'm the president of this apartment, then. You know, like, yeah. I'm the president of my group of friends.
You're 100% the president of this residence.
I'm the
president of the residence.
I'm going to call my mom back. Yo, Mom.
I'm the president of my apartment.
I'm finally a success. ¿Qué
pasó, papi?
¿Qué pasó, Billy? Tell me. I'm the president of my friends. I'm so happy. What does that mean? What does it mean? What it is? Tell me what it is.
It means you're in charge of it. My mom always kept me in check, dog.
Oh, man. All right. That seemed like a pretty good spot to end for part one of my talk with Rocco. As you can see, we had a lot of fun chopping it up, remembering old times, and we continue the good times in part two. We get even looser, even sillier, and maybe even a little bit more real as we get more into his life as an MMA fighter, as an amateur fighter, and now as a professional fighter. We get real about his debut as an MMA fighter in the professional level and how he unfortunately debuted with a loss, how he plans on bouncing back from that, and what it means for him as a MMA fighter in general, what he sees for his career, being someone that's getting into it a little bit later in the game. Definitely a lot of interesting stuff to come in part two. So happy that he was able to join me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part one, and there'll be more right behind it. And yeah, next week we finish it off with part two of me and Rocco. But until then, as always, I need to remind you to do one thing. You already know it's coming. Follow me on all platforms at I'm Will Bryant. You can follow me on Instagram, on Twitch, on TikTok, on X, on Spotify. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. It's the same thing across all platforms. 3 words, I'm Will Bryant, Bryant, like Kobe. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining, and be sure to tune in next time. Until then, peace.